Like we see Flock, we see ShotSpotter, Palantir.
Yeah.
So all these companies selling imperfect solutions who don't care about the privacy of their customers, be it from like a data collection aspect or from a my camera's being hacked perspective. Why are the police so interested in having these imperfect solutions in the first place?
I think it's a mixed bag. I think there's some people who genuinely mean to do well and just don't know any better. I think police feel like they're overworked. There's a lot going on at any given time. They're just fielding a lot of calls all the time, and I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of different ways to answer that. I think unfortunately there are some bad people, like especially on the contractor side. I think there's people who just truly do not care and they just want to make money and they don't care who gets hurt in the process. I think there's some people who they don't care until it affects them. I always forget the name of it, but there is a what do they call it? A logical fallacy
Mm.
where you assume that everyone is just like you. So, and we see this a lot when people say, I have nothing to hide, right? It's because they don't think like a criminal, which is good because they're not criminals. They're not bad people. So they never stop to think, how could this be used against me? And it's not until it gets used against them that they're like, oh, there are bad people in the world who will do bad things.
The police will want to use every tool at their disposal to catch you, to make their jobs easier. I think that's a very human thing to do. You want to make your job
Mhm.
easier. Like, why not have all this data that can run through Palantir, through your and that is completely fed through your shot spotter gunshot detection system or your flock traffic cameras, and use that to essentially create like a surveillance assemblage of everyone in your neighborhood. Easy peasy. If they're not criminals, why would they worry about it? That is until you realize that you kind of just created a surveillance industrial complex with companies and local police relying on each other to succeed. I don't know if like Flock and ShotSpotter will ever grow to a point where they're essential to police operations, but assuming if countries around the world will start embracing the surveillance state in day-to-day legal enforcement or law enforcement, I could definitely imagine a world where like it's impossible to detangle private corporations who are trying to like sell their advanced technologies to these law enforcement agencies who may or may not be bought out by these corporations. Maybe we haven't reached that stage yet because these are mostly startups that are trying to like get into this business. But once these startups grow larger and larger, I can see a bit of a realistic pathway in which law enforcement and surveillance is inherently tied together in this horrible like industry that we are unfortunately seeing the growth of right now.